How do you spot the next breakout in 2025 and beyond 2025? Of course, is the answer is very simple. Chart your candles, okay? Chart your candles. That is the single most important answer. How do you chart candles? Well, first of all, the most important rule to charting candles is three candles make a valid trend line. So you need to see at least three candles touching on a trend line to validate it. Okay, it doesn't need to be 100% exact, right? It doesn't have to be 100% exactly touching, in my opinion, right? So that is how you guys have been seeing me chart these breakouts before they happen. I like buying breakouts before things happen because that is a lower risk to trading. If you actually trade breakouts, like when it's already pumping, especially on the day of, that is a higher risk setup that you're trading. I've been there, I've done that, and still made some money, right? Trading breakouts, but it's just not as low risk as before the moves actually happen. So, so let's just go ahead and take a look into this AVAX chart, which is Avalanche, right? I've been talking about Avalanche for quite some time. It hasn't been doing too much, but it does not mean that the trading inside a pattern is not progressing. Okay. Now this is a falling wedge pattern, and if you guys been watching my channel, you guys know that falling wedges are very common, probably the most common pattern I think you guys should be charting, right? Because it tells you after an extensive downtrend on that time frame, price action is likely to be more likely breaking out to the upside. Now, Avalanche, I talked about this falling wedge pattern and price target. If it breaks out by this point, let's just say, for example, price target will still be about above $90 here for Avalanche, which is still a pretty significant move for a bigger altcoin here. Now, price targets are estimates only. It very much depends on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin dumps, then a lot of these altcoin setups are going to be pretty worthless. Okay. So, want to be paying attention to Bitcoin. I never trade altcoins without a clear understanding of what Bitcoin is doing. That is actually the first chart that I put the most importance on. I did a more detailed video on Bitcoin earlier today. I will link you guys at the end of this video. Now let's get back to the chart here, where this price target is basically the opening of the pattern, and then you put it on top of a estimated or actual breakout point. Now, this is still valid. Okay, it's still Avalanche is still running in the middle of this pattern here, and I talked about what could be happening with Avalanche from within this pattern. Now, if Avalanche comes up here to retest about 2750 here on this weekly time frame, which looks like it's trying to do that right now, it could form this cup and handle pattern. Okay, now this is not exactly a three touching trend line on this resistance line here, but I'm estimating here because that seems to be a round number, where three candles are kind of touching. I don't think it has to be exact. Okay. And if it forms this cup and handle pattern, and if then the price target here will be about $39 for Avalanche. So something to be keeping an eye out on, and see if this pattern fully forms. Right now, it's still a guess, but it's very close. Okay, it's very close to retesting that resistance at about 2750. Let's take a look into a smaller time frame here, where that's the 2-hour time frame, where there is a falling wedge pattern again. Okay, it looks like it's tried to break out right here. Let's see if it's successful, right? Now, I just want to mention that even though falling wedges has a higher chance of breaking to the upside, there is still a smaller chance it breaks down as well. I've seen that happen. So some things to be paying attention to. However, if this one does break out to the upside, I see a price target of, let's just estimate it right here. Price target of about just right above $27 here. Let's see if AVAX can pull that off. So this is basically what I'm seeing for AVAX. Let me know if you want to see any other altcoins in this market or continue seeing AVAX. I am long on Bitcoin and quite a bit of the altcoins here, so my opinion on this market is still bullish. But I'll tell you guys when I change my opinion, because there will be a day where I change my opinion. Bull cycles, bear cycles, sideways, I don't think they last forever. So as a trader in this market, I am going to be thinking on both sides of the market, and I'll tell you guys when I change my opinion. So this is basically it for today. And for AVAX, I'll see you on the next one.